everybody. Second try. I was going too long on the other one and just really wasn't saying what I wanted to say. Today's a kind of an off-topic day because what I'm going to talk about is not specifically directly related to being a reborner. It's just a subject that is affecting the whole reborn community. And those of us that are in the arts and crafts community and crocheters community. So what I want to talk about is, do you or don't you want to wear a mask? There's a lot of different theories going around about whether or not to wear a mask. And my personal belief is that this virus is a very real threat, and that I want to be compassionate and courteous and considerate of my neighbors. So anytime I'm out and about, away from home, which is very rare since this pandemic hit, I'm going to wear a mask, maybe even a face shield, and I'm going to social distance. And I'm going to do everything I know how to do to keep myself healthy. And I'm not going to look down on people that don't choose to wear a mask. But I kind of feel like there's been a lot of people that have just been acting like absolute little babies about it. Throwing temper tantrums and destroying mask displays and stuff. And they're showing the worst of what people can be. So, but the reason for wearing a mask, more than the fact that it's keeping, if somebody sneezes or coughs in your direction, it's keeping you from getting the droplets into your face, into your nose and mouth, is that when you wear that mask and somebody else is wearing a mask, if one of you coughs, a lot fewer virus germs are going to get into the other person's face. It might protect them from getting sick. It might protect you from getting sick. And probably will. Add the face shield over the top of that mask, and guess what? Neither one of you is going to get sick, because neither one of you is going to get the droplets from the other person. Staying social distance. People used to, before we lived in crowded cities, 3 to 6 foot away from one person to another person was just normal social distancing. That was how far people stayed away from each other, that they felt comfortable being around other people. And as towns got to be more crowded and they became cities, and people's comfortable personal space started shrinking. And so we have, there's Mischief, and somewhere in here is Mr. Cookie Monster. He's doing his thing. But personal distance started shrinking. And so now we've got where people get in an elevator and you've got people that are like 3 to 6 inches away from you. And that's uncomfortable, but it's tolerable. Now, some of us still have the country mind. where 3 foot away is about as close as you can get and we'll still feel comfortable. Any closer than that, it'll be uncomfortable, but we'll tolerate it. Excuse me. But that's just, that's the way it is. So you do what you can to stay healthy. You wash your hands, you wash your face, use a hand sanitizer. When you get out around people, you take and put on a mask, carry your hand sanitizer with you, maybe put on gloves, maybe wear a shield. Keep that 3 to 6 feet away from them, preferably 6 feet or more. And you get done what you got to get done without taking forever about doing it, and then you go home. And you take off your mask, and if it's one of those that you can reuse, it goes in the washing machine and gets washed. If it's a disposable one, you take and put it in the trash, and the same thing with those gloves. And you take a shower and you put on clean clothes. And then you can be all affectionate and lovey-dovey with your family. Because that's the way you stay healthy when there's a epidemic going around. That's just common sense. It's sound medical advice. And so that's what you do. And you keep stocked up so that you're got a couple, 3 months worth of groceries and what have you in the house at all times, whether or not there's something serious going on, because you never know. The trucks that deliver the groceries, something might happen and they don't deliver the groceries. There might be a famine hit the farmers. And so the produce doesn't grow. So there's a shortage in the famine, shortage in the fruits and vegetables. Stuff that is produced overseas. There might be a trade embargo. All of a sudden, you won't be able to get the stuff that you ordered from overseas. So these things are things that you need to think about, and they're just common sense. There's nothing about them that is all that far out in left field. But when you combine common sense measures with a bunch of conspiracy theories, well, it can get kind of wild, and people tend to act really crazy. Every 100 years or so, we have a big pandemic goes through. And about every 100 years or so, there is a global economic reset. There's an economic collapse and a rebuilding of the economy, and things become normal on a different level than they were before. But it's never really normal. There's always change happening. Nothing stays the same for very long. So, but I'm getting rid of all of the excess, getting my books down to just my arts and crafts and crochet and recipe books, and then everything else is getting got rid of. And as soon as we have a few more days when it's less than 85% humidity. Today's one of those 100% humidities because we got storms coming through Tulsa that are being spawned off of Laura, that hurricane. And until it gets up past Arkansas and turns and goes toward the northeast, It's just going to be that way. And so I'll be doing other things because I don't really paint a lot when the humidity's extra, extra high. And hopefully here in a couple months I can have everything to where it looks really, really nice, and I can show off the house and let you see something that I'm really proud of, because I'm working really hard. There's a lot that needed to be done. There's not much I can do about the ceiling tiles that are falling. That's I have to wait till my landlord is able to get in and redo them, have them redone. But other things are getting done quickly, so we're getting there. Things just it works out a lot slower when you're poor and you don't have like hundreds and hundreds of dollars to remodel and redecorate and, you know, get rid of and buy new stuff. You have to take it a little bit at a time. But we're getting there. Anyway, y'all, have a really, really blessed day. And if you watched, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And in a day or two, I'll have the reborns back out in here with me, and I'll be showing you off Alana Michelle's new sweater. And hopefully show off some new outfits for both of them, because the first is coming up and I'm going to be able to order some new things for them. So, email, mailing address, and Patreon page are in the description below. Everybody have a nice day now. Bless.